What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Limp Noodle channel. So today I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to do some new vent emblems in my cowl hood for the S10. I went ahead and I designed these extreme emblems and I cut them out of the CNC, but we're gonna try to go ahead and cut holes in our cowl hood right in the side and weld these in and just make them flush mount basically. So it'll be pretty cool if it works out the way I hope it's gonna. And yeah, so I think where I'm gonna start on this, thought I got to take you guys for the ride, is I got some, this is actually gasket material technically, but it's basically crafting paper. It's just thick cardboard, thin cardboard, whatever you wanna call it. And I'm gonna lay this out. I'm just gonna lay this out here. Let's see, just throw one of these up here. See just how long I need it to be. I'm gonna cut this guy down. Do a little bit of crafting today. Throw that up there. I'm gonna tape this flat so that I don't have any issues. So I'm gonna trace this thing out just where I want the vent to be. Kablam. Okay, I'm actually gonna bring this down here so that doesn't get in my way because I don't need that bullshit. So, I think what I'm gonna do, I need a straight edge. That's what I need. Let me see if I can find something. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a straight edge. I'm gonna run it along this thing. So I know it's gonna run across the top of the X, right? Okay, well, that's what we got. It's a little rough, but I think if I just cut on the inside, stay close, we should be able to weld to, you know, I was hoping to weld to all the bottoms of the letters, but I don't know if I'm actually gonna get there. These are a little higher, so this should jog up to there and go straight across. So we might not be able to weld that guy. I'll probably be able to bridge the R. We should be okay. Okay guys, we got our template all cut out the way we want it. And I'm gonna have to just lay this up here. And I think I'm just gonna use some of these red magnets. I got some of these laying around to stick it to the hood. That way it'll stay put. And I'm gonna mark it with just a, you know, just a paint marker, just a white paint marker. Obviously a Sharpie, black Sharpie would be hard to see. So I'm gonna use that. And then when I go to cut it out, I'm gonna cut the inside of that line to make sure it's small because we're gonna leave a pretty fat line. So let's do it. So that's where our mark could be. Personally, I'd like it to sit further back. I think it'd look better further back, but I really want to use it for ventilation to get as much heat out of that front area as I can. And it's going to be a very low profile thing. I'm not going to paint it a different color. You know, we're going to paint the whole hood gloss black, and this is just going to be flush with this hood. It's not going to pop out. It's not going to, you know, it's going to be very low key, low profile, and it should look pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set the logo up in there and just make sure I'm kind of happy with where it's at. I can mark out the other side and do the same thing. We want to make sure we're, you know, the same distance side to side. So I don't know. I think that would be fine. I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, it'll be real low profile, so I think that'll be fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from this little pinch in the hood back to the very tip of my X, and I'm going to transfer that to the other side so that we're the same distance. We're not like one's up here and then one's back here. That would suck. All right, guys. Well, I got one side done. Sorry you missed it. GoPro died, but that's all right. I'll show you the other one. So this is what we got so far. It is, I guess, written backwards this way, but I know I've been back and forth about which way to put these on here, and I thought about putting the X this way and actually so you can read the word easily, but I don't know. It just didn't seem right. It just, you know, the X is bigger than everything else, and the whole thing kind of slants down. So if this would have been slanting back and that would have been slanting forward, all that stuff just kind of messes with me. This probably bothers a lot of people more. It seems really stupid. I'm still not 100% sure if that's the way I should have done it. But if we're being totally honest, I didn't even realize what I was doing until it was in there. But we got it welded in right now, so it's looking pretty nice. And I'm sure I didn't show you the guys this, but underneath the hood I do have towels and a welding blanket and all kinds of stuff down there. So I'm not just letting all this stuff go into the engine bay. So don't worry about that. I'm sure people were worried about it. I had my towels all set up on this side before. I've now swapped them over to that side to protect the windshield and the paint from metal shavings and whatnot. But that's one. Hopefully video does it justice. It's looking pretty good. We'll have to go through here and smooth this stuff out a little more where I tack welded in. You can kind of see, you know, where I was shaving them down, but it's looking good. Now I got to do this side, and I don't know if you guys saw this on the last one, but we went, first things first, we went through and drilled some holes in all the corners just to make it a little more rounder edge. I went back and forth between cutting on the other side, between using this guy here. I was using, you know, like, where's my, I had a grinder. Oh, I was using a grinder like that. That's got the flap disc on it, but I was using one just like that, okay? And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this guy. And this thing worked pretty dang good in certain spots. So I'm gonna try to start with this thing this time and just see how that goes. It's just less sparks, less shit flying everywhere. So that's pretty cool. And then I used a series of, you know, like little grinder, flap disc, you know, the Dremel, all kinds of things, a hand file to get everything smooth in here, because I mean, this edge up top, you know, on the hood side is particularly a little more difficult to get to with a grinder or, you know, something to smooth it out. So the Dremel I used a bit there, you know, hand file I used a bit. So yeah, you guys, I'm just gonna start going at this and enjoy the show. All right, back at it. We got our piece in. It's just chilling in here with magnets right now. I did give my piece a little bit of a bend. I want to try to match this contour a little bit. But what I like to do is I bent it just very slightly, and I'm gonna have it sticking off. You guys can see this is not flush, and this sticks out just a little bit from the hood. That way I'll tack it, and as I tack it, I'll go down one way. Hopefully I won't have to switch. You know, if I tack on one side and then tack on the other, I might have some issues with binding, warping, moving. So I start at one end and I go to the other, and I try to transfer that heat down the way, and I try to keep the hood wet and do whatever I can to keep heat out of it. But so far we're just about fit in. We're really close. Excuse me. I'm gonna have to trim this E a little bit here and there, but other than that, I think we're good to go. It's looking like we'll be able to tack to the T, the X. This one I might not be able to do much more than that. I'll get the top of that M and the top of the E and the side of the E, but most of this is gonna be free floating from the looks of it. And that kind of worked out over here too. I mean, that's pretty much what I got. I got the bottom of the M up there, and then I got the bottom of the M here, and I tried to get the bottom of these two T's because I had to bridge a little gap, but that's fine. So we'll see if we can't do some of that here, if it's just a little bit, but we'll just make it work as we go, I think. And if I can make it match that side with the welds and the contact points, that's what I'll do, just to keep everything symmetrical. But I think we're getting there. It's looking pretty sweet. All right, boys and girls. Well, we got our tack welded in there. I made sure to tack it in all the same spots that I had on the other side, keep it symmetrical. It's looking good. It's fitting pretty well. Fits really well, actually. And yeah, I'm gonna go through here. I'm gonna just run with a flap disc and grind these down. Try to take it easy on the metal. I got a little carried away on the other side, but it's still pretty, so I'm not too worried about it. And we'll get to it. Well, there you have it, boys. Looking spiffy. Now I still got to go through and, you know, love this up with a little bit of polyester filler, a little bit of Bondo, whatever, in here, and you know, smooth those welds out and stuff, and make sure everything is nice and straight. But all in all, it came out really nice. Should help the ventilation tremendously, I would think. It looks sick from the front. And yeah, a little bit of filler work. Put a high build primer on there, maybe a few coats, and block sand that down, make sure it's smooth with the hood. Then I can scuff the whole hood and paint it. Shoo! Friggin' A, dude! Here we are, boys. So we got her all cut out, we got it all welded in, we got it trimmed and prettied up. Then I went through and did a little Bondo work where the welds are at, to smooth those out. And now we're here pretty much. Now this still needs to be wiped down properly. I wiped it down a little bit just to get the debris off of it, but that doesn't count. So yeah, right now you can see I got a rag in there. I already went underneath and I sprayed some black, some flat black underneath here just to cover up that bare metal, and then I went ahead and used some of my magnets to pin up some rags so that our primer and whatnot doesn't get underneath here. So I think we're about ready to wipe this thing down and get to spraying. All right, boys and girls, well, we've been working on it, and after a bunch of Bondo work and sanding and priming and blocking and sanding and blocking, it's finally looking pretty good. I got the light up on here to try to really see what's what and see what's straight and what's not straight. It's looking pretty decent. It's not absolutely perfect, but honestly, I don't think I'm gonna take the time to make it absolutely perfect. I've taken quite a bit of time, and I mean, this is many, you know, redos of Bondo work and everything else. I think I'm pretty much good right now to, you know, there's a little bit of junk right there, but I think I'm pretty much good to go ahead and take and throw another shot, a couple shots of primer on this, and clean up and start painting. Now, I just threw these drop cloths around here. I had them laying around, so I just taped them up. Masking takes a long time, and I generally don't like to reuse my masking if I, you know, the same masking that I use to do the body work that gets all dusty, I don't like to have it there for paint. So I just went ahead and I taped up some drop cloths real quick to kind of keep things under control, and then halfway taped up all my, you know, water squirter jets and my hood pins. Now I can go through, pull all this stuff off. Well, let's just start from square one here. I'm gonna wipe this stuff down, spray another couple coats of primer just on these spots. The hood is already primed, so I'm not too worried about that, and I'm not too worried about color differences. It's just not gonna be that big a deal. So I'm gonna wipe this down, and then I'm gonna go through and hit these two with another 2 or 3 little coats of primer, light coats, and then I'll take a scuff. While that's drying, I'll go through and I'll pull all this stuff down, and I'll actually put paper up and make sure this thing's taped up good, because I'm just going to paint the top of the hood gloss black. The bottom I'm just going to leave flat because everything under the hood is flat black anyway. So I'm going to get some tape up behind those emblems and make sure nothing goes through there. And I'll mask off everything around the truck. And honestly, we could probably start painting. I probably need some clear coat. I don't know if I have enough clear coat here, but I'll check and see what I got, because I'd like to get this painted today. Maybe. It'd be cool. I definitely want it to have time to cure and stuff before we take it out to the track. I had time on my hands, so this is what I went ahead and did. I got this stuff done. It's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And all in all, so far, I'm pretty happy with how it come out. I'm gonna, you know, like I say, I'm gonna wipe it down. We'll see what it's like when it's all shiny. I might hit it with a wet rag quick. And if I have to make adjustments, I will. But yeah, it didn't come out too bad. Not terrible. Pretty decent for a guy that doesn't do body work. And I'm sure if, you know, a professional body guy sat here and watched me do this, he would have been like, dude, what the hell? But I got it done, and I think it looks pretty good. Looks decent enough. It's not 100% perfect, but I'm okay with that. At the end of the day, this truck is, you know, it might look clean on camera, but it's not. It's a rusty piece of garbage, basically. Try to keep the cuss words, you know, under bay. But yeah, guys, so I'm gonna get these primed and we'll just keep on rolling on. All right, guys, well, as you can see, the hood's all good to go. It's primed. I did my blocking, my Bondo, all that stuff. I went ahead and I wiped it off with a dry cloth, and then I hit it with some wax and grease remover and tack clothed it off. So we should be all good to go. I swept up the area around the truck last night to make sure that no dust particles are floating around, give it time to settle overnight. And then now I got my hose with me, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just kind of damping up the floors around here, try to keep the dust down. I can still see stuff floating right in front of me. So we'll try to keep that down a little bit, and we're ready to spray. A lot of you guys are probably gonna laugh at me for this, but I am using spray can for this. I do have paint guns and everything, but I don't know, this is just so much easier. I don't have to clean out spray guns between rounds and stuff. So I'm just gonna use this stuff, and just like I did on the valve cover video, if you guys haven't seen that, go back and watch it. There's some good painting tips on there. We're gonna go through kind of the same thing here. Is when I spray this, I'm gonna start off the panel, pull the trigger, follow it all the way through, and let go off the panel again. That way my can or my gun doesn't spit on the surface. Any little spit you'll see, and if it does spit or you have imperfections, then you have to wait for it to cure, go block sand the whole thing and start over. So I really rather not do that. I'd like to get it all painted and all clear coated today, get it finished out, and roll on with life. So I'm gonna go from end to end, and I'm gonna start in the center, and and I'm gonna work my way out to one side, flip over to the other side, work my way out to the other. So there's two ways. A lot of guys, you know, honestly what a person should do is start from the outside and work their way across. And I might just do that. I always have a worry in the back of my head that this thing's gonna need another tack cloth. I always have a worry in the back of my head that I'm gonna touch the paint, but really a guy should start at the end, go to the center, go around the other side, start at the center and bring it back to eliminate any possibility for a flash mark there. Personally, I've never done it that way. I always start at the center and go around, but I've never had a problem. But I'm gonna do it that way just for the right way sake. And go. Alright guys, well we're about 3 coats deep right now. I'm running out of paint. I might be able to get one more coat out of this. And I mean, it's looking alright. I think I've been going, you know, parallel with the hood this whole time. I think I'm gonna switch directions and try to cross hatch it because I am getting a lot of this flashing. This cans really don't spray super even. And I don't know if this will pick up on camera, but there's a lot of little dust particles in here. Just nothing we can really do about that. Basically what I would do at this point if I had dust particles in a panel is once I put my final base coat on, I could let it cure, come back, give it a quick block with like 1,000 grit or something, and then start again with a fresh coat, another, you know, 2-3 coats again. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not that worried about this, so we're just going to leave it the way it is. We'll clear right over top of that stuff. But yeah, it's going well.